Today's show is about Bill Belichick, who in my opinion is the best manager on the planet. I've learned more from Bill Belichick about management than almost anybody else except for Jack Welch. Bill Belichick is a phenomenal manager, and everybody listening to this show, if you have a staff, if you have a team, if you have employees, you want to get out a pen and a pad as we enter into the Bill Belichick lab. Bill Belichick is a phenomenal coach, a phenomenal manager. We hope this show will inspire you to manage like a Belichick.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we'll show you.
Now, Jason, this show has the potential to be the longest show I've ever recorded. So far, I believe our July 4th show, I believe that show was 13 hours long.
Yeah, I heard that one was pretty epic.
I don't know if it was 13 hours. It could be less long than that, but I think someone told me it was 13 hours.
And your DJ Connection story is up there, too.
And how long was that?
Oh, that one
Maybe
was...
that one was 13 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe the 4th of July show was like 6 hours or something. I don't know. The point is, the great thing about this podcast is that we do a copious amount of research before each and every show.
True.
But tell the listeners what you have in your hands there, my friend. How many pages do you think that is?
If I had to guess, I would say it's probably close to 100, but it's like the Bible of Bill Belichick.
You have 48 pages of notes about Bill Belichick. Because I am Bill Belichick's #1 fan. I've declared it to the universe. And on today's show, Dr. Breck, we're going to be talking about management because at his core, that's what he does.
Right.
So if you don't like the Patriots or you don't like, maybe say you like the Cowboys or the Browns or whoever you like, it's not about Bill Belichick and the Patriots. It's about Bill Belichick, the coach. And before we get into it, I want to ask you, Dr. Breck, would you agree that management is perhaps the hardest aspect of managing a chiropractic clinic?
I would agree, yeah.
Jason, you've managed thousands of customers at the Elephant in the Room, and you don't have to agree with us. I'm just asking you, do you think that that managing people is the hardest aspect of that, or is it marketing or accounting? What do you think is the hardest part of running the Elephant in the Room?
It's definitely the management of the people and the customers. Systems are easy. Marketing for, most of it is easy, but managing people takes a special level of care and also just expertise.
I think it's a very, very difficult thing to. It's easy to make an org chart or workflow or checklist, but to get people to operate in those checklists and in those systems, that is difficult.
Super.
For most people. And now, for me, it's not as hard because I'm missing my amygdala. Now, the amygdala is the emotional processing center, a.k.a. your empathy, your area of your head that allows you to have empathy or to feel something. So an employee is late who works for me, and I write them up, and they say, I can't believe you'd write me up. I've been here for 7 years. I said, I don't understand how you're feeling right now because you're the one who chose to be late. Let's sign here. Bada, bada, bing. And I walk away, and people all the time. The other day we brought a couple of the employees into a meeting so they could watch me fire somebody.
Wow.
So we could have a witness. And both ladies were like, oh, wow. But I think they thought that it would be more difficult than it is, but I just pull them aside. Hey, we've written you up, I think, 28 times. It's apparently not working out, so you're gone. Yep. And, I don't feel bad about it. But other people on the team are like, but they've got babies. What about their families? And I'm going, hey, if you got 28 write-ups, it's time to go. So I'm going to read you 2 notable quotables, and then we will begin the Bill Belichick laser show. Here we go. Notable quotable number 1 from John D. Rockefeller. Good management consists in showing average people how to do the work of superior people. Good management consists in showing average people how to do the work of superior people. Yeah. So this week when we watch the Patriots play the Ravens, you will see that the Patriots don't have a lot of #1 draft picks. They've got a lot of undrafted guys, lower draft picks who are winning consistently. Dr. Breck, you played football. How is it possible to win a football game when you have a less, quote-unquote, talented team, less athletic team?
Well, I think a lot of that comes down to the coaching, the schemes, the heart. All these guys are very talented. But as you said, Bill Belichick's doing it with guys that other people overlooked. And so that's really impressive to me.
Now, John D. Rockefeller also went on to say, John D. Rockefeller, the world's wealthiest man and the world's probably best manager ever, said the ability to deal with people is as purchasable a commodity as sugar or coffee. And I will pay more for that ability than for any other under the sun. Again, it is hard to find people that can manage people. So Bill Belichick is going to teach us 102 super moves that you can use to manage your people. So fact number 1, here we go. Stay in the player's box. Look like a military operation and not a bus stop. Let me give you a little context here before Jason reads the article from NBC Sports. If you watch a game this weekend, whoever your favorite team is, there's a yellow line where the players are not supposed to go past that line. The players are not supposed to be right against the field. They're supposed to be behind their head coach. Could you explain logistically, Dr. Breck, why the players should be behind their head coach and not blocking the head coach's view of the field?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons why they have a set-aside area that they can be in. I know it doesn't extend past, I think it's the 20. They can't get down near the end zone either. But part of that is to keep a clear path for the referees that have to run along the sidelines, but then also to stay behind the coach where he can see what's happening and be doing his job.
Next time you watch a game, I don't care who the Patriots are playing against, no matter, next time you watch a Patriots game, look at the opposing sideline and notice jackassery is occurring on the other sideline. Yeah. Jason, continue reading the NBC Sports article, my friend.
Yep, so this one's coming at us from NBC Sports. In the first quarter of the Patriots' undressing of the Cleveland Browns, lead official Tony Cornetti, oh, there we go, announced the Browns sideline had been given a warning. Their players weren't staying within the players' box. The hell is that, you ask? Well, there's a yellow line in the bench area that's about 6 feet away from the sideline. Players are supposed to stay behind the line unless they are coming on or off the field. Coaches can be in the space between the yellow line and the sideline. Nobody's supposed to stray inside the 30-yard lines or stand on the white sideline paint. It's a housekeeping thing, a detail. The chain gang shouldn't have to step around players and coaches while they do their jobs. Coaches shouldn't have to wade through players to eyeball what's happening on the field.
Pause. Now, check this out. This is what I want to share with you, is that you, as a business owner, you have these details that matter, little details. Now, if the coach can't see the field, that is a competitive disadvantage.
Sure.
And the Patriots are the only NFL team that is not at a competitive disadvantage because of a lack of discipline. It's crazy. If you watch the Cowboys games, you'll see a Dez Bryant or a Hardy or a Pac-Man Jones arguing with the coach. On the Patriots, you can't even get near the man. Right. That's a next level thing. That's a detail. But Jason, what happens at Elephant in the Room if you allow the staff to skip those checklists where we have to make let's talk about towels. We have a lot of hot towels.
Right.
How often do we have to wash those things?
We have to wash them every 15 to 30 minutes.
Dr. Breck, at your chiropractic clinic, what are some details that you have to do every hour, maybe every 2 hours, to make sure that your chiropractic center doesn't become a chaotic bus stop?
Well, for us, it's a lot about the paperwork, dotting I's, crossing T's, making sure that patient paperwork is filled in, complete. And then the things can get passed on for insurance billing. So if you don't have those details in order, then you don't get paid.
Okay, another Patriot fun fact. Fact number 2, this just in from the Bill Belichick Coaching Center. Unofficial. The Bill Belichick Unofficial Coaching Center. But, Bill, we know you're going to listen to the whole show.
Of course.
I know you're going to. And when you do, I want you to know at some point you should allow me to interview you. And I know right now you're on the verge. We're kind of going through a dry spell. It's been about 7 years of rejection for me. But I know that you, Bill Belichick, started your coaching career coaching for free. I know that you did. You started coaching for free after handwriting 250 letters and mailing it to all of the college coaches you could think of. You got rejected. It's kind of like me, 7 years of nuclear winter being rejected by you, Bill. But, Bill, come to the butthead. Come to the butthead. Okay, so fact number 2, the Patriot way. Punch the ball out and force fumbles. Dr. Breck, what does it mean to punch the ball out when you're playing defense?
So when you're making a tackle, you can just use your arms, your hands to wrap up a player and take them to the ground, tackle them. But if you're punching while tackling, then you're actually attacking the ball. You're trying to cause the turnover, cause a fumble, and then your players have a chance to jump on that ball, and you possess it, and you're back on offense.
Now, if you watch a Patriots game, next time you watch it, you'll watch it again with a renewed, wow, I didn't see that. When they tackle people, they will grab you and attempt to make you stop your forward progress. But once they've done that, they punch the ball out over and over and over until somebody comes to help tackle you.
Right.
It's gang tackling. It's crazy how many turnovers they cause, though. So, Jason, please read the NBC article titled Bill Belichick Gets 300 Wins Because His Team Took Care of Millions of Details.
Yes. So, as the game in the rain unfolded, the Browns turned the ball over on its first 3 possessions. There were 2 fumbles. One came when Nick Chubb had the ball kicked out of his hands by a teammate going ass over tea kettle.
We're reading the article, yes.
Oh, man. I've never even heard that expression
I
before.
don't have it either.
The other came
Hey,
at
real
the
quick.
You know what they say.
Ass over tea kettle.
That's right.
You know what they say.
Ass over tea kettle.
You know what they say.
Ass
See
over
a broad to get that booty yak 'em. Lay her down and smack 'em, yak 'em.
Okay.
The other came at the end of an outstanding Chubb run when Patriot Jonathan Jones chased him down and punched the ball out. There was an interception shovel pass when a Browns player didn't execute a block and second-year Maverick quarterback Baker Mayfield volleyed the ball into the chest of Patriot Lawrence Guy.
Okay, pause real quick. Dr. Breck, I'm not asking you to be a football expert, but you did play football, and you're also, in my mind, a business expert because you've been self-employed for how long now?
Going on 16 years.
And everybody should check it out, drbreck.com, DRBRECK.com. He's been doing this for 16 years. And I'm sure the Browns' game plan didn't involve, okay, guys, step 1, we're going to hand the ball to the other team. They'll be confused.
Typically not. Yeah.
But it happened.
Right.
And on Bill Belichick's team, you practice until you can't get it wrong. And on the other teams, they just sort of practice until they're done.
Yep.
So, Breck, talk to me about how does that happen where somebody misses a blocking assignment? Like, how does that happen? Is there so many plays people forget, or what happens?
Yeah, I think it's a lack of focus is one of the biggest reasons. And so, being well-prepared is a big part of that. But if the player is not bought into the scheme, they're not on point, they're not well-rested, taking care of the off-the-field details so that they can really focus when they're, downfield.
If you ever watch Bill Belichick talk about his teammates, he always talks about how smart they are. And I've noticed when you watch an interview with James White, the running back for the Patriots, or with the McCourty brothers. There's twin brothers on the team, by the way. The McCourtys are twins. It's crazy to have twin brothers on the same team.
Right.
But when you hear their interviews, or let's say Matthew Slater or Tom Brady, regardless of their color of their skin, their race, their ethnicity, their background, what position they play, they're all smart. You don't get a lot of interviews with Patriot players where you say, so tell me what happened in the game there. And they go, basically, like, the coach is like, but a lot of teams, you listen to the interviews and you're like, so tell me about what happened in the last game. And it's like, are we talking to a surfer here?
Well, it's the same thing too, because we went out there, we gave it 110%, and we just really did our best.
But I mean, that's a typical interview with a lot of players.
Sure.
And when you listen to the Patriots, they're all very articulate, well spoken. I don't think I have the mental capacity to be on the team. The amount of plays they have to memorize and know, I mean, it is tough. And if you get a chance to look it up, Troy Brown, former Patriots wide receiver, does a lot of work with the players before the games, helping them to memorize the plays, learn their routes, learn what they're supposed to do. But, Dr. Breck, when somebody calls a play, a quarterback calls a play,
right?
How many different plays, maybe even at the college level or high school level, are there and spinning around in the minds inside an offensive lineman? I mean, how many different plays could a quarterback call?
I mean, that varies widely by different teams because you'll notice some teams will run, the same core 10 plays, but then there's other teams that'll run 100 plays. And so depending on situations, what down and what yardage, where they're at on the field, the amount of clock left before a quarter or the half. I mean, they have several different schemes and things that they're trying to run. And so some may be 100.
Let me play the audio clip of there's a lot of smart people in the NFL, but there's a lot of guys that cannot be in the Patriots. And I am definitely one of them. But this is a surfer being interviewed on Fox 11 explaining what it's like to surf. So let me cue it up here.
But the park is still flooded, so you'll see kids out there again today.
Some of those kids today will be my co-hosts.
It's just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah! Drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, just ride the barrel and get pitted. So pitted like that.
Listen, you're asking him about these surfing experiences. This is what he says.
Best barrels ever, dude. Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them. And you just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah! Drop down, snap, and then after that, You just drop in.
Reminds me of that Sean
ride the
Penn
barrel
character
and
from
get an idiot.
Fast Times at
So
Ridgemont High.
Spicoli.
Oh. All right, so fun fact number 3, the Patriot way. A penalty-free mindset. I find a lot of teams in the NFL get behind. If you watch the Patriots, they'll play against a team. They win a lot of games by like 7 points, 3 points. And it's because they don't make dumb plays. Right. But a lot of teams are like playing against themselves. Constant penalties everywhere. And Bill Belichick is obsessed about attempting to be penalty-free. So, Jason, read to us the next article we have here for him. This is from NBC Sports. Bill Belichick gets 300 wins because his teams take care of details. Go ahead and read an excerpt from the article, please.
So the Browns took 12 penalties. There was a false start near the end of the first after the Browns had 1st and 10 at the Pats 40. So that's at the Patriots 40-yard line for anybody who doesn't know sports like me.
Okay.
That was followed by a hold on 1st and 15th. Next thing you know, it's 3rd and 24. After Cleveland got it to 17-7, the Patriots had a drive in which Cleveland was called for a defensive holding, then an illegal use of hands. Kitchens challenged a 4th down spot on a completion to Mohamed Sanu. He lost that one.
So just so we're clear, I'm not going to make the listeners suffer through the reading of each and every penalty. All I'm saying is that when you watch the game, they just keep having penalties.
Right.
And it is so impossible to win when you have penalties. And most of the teams in the NFL have an insane amount of penalties. So it doesn't matter how talented your team is. If you can't be disciplined, it doesn't work. Now,
you're just beating yourself.
Baker Mayfield, the coach of the quarterback for the Browns, was asked about the penalties. And he says, it's just non-disciplined. Guys not being focused on doing their job. It starts first and foremost with me to be the leader every single down. Get our guys lined up, make sure that we're set, we're paying attention, because if we can't use cadence, we're hurting ourselves. Anytime we try to use a double count, it seems like we're false starting a bit. But we'll get the discipline part fixed, the accountability. And I'm sure you will, Baker Mayfield. The problem is we've already played 8 games. And so the Browns, I mean, it's like we're working on the discipline. We want to, we're gonna be good. And that's great. And I'm excited that you're going to get better. The problem is, you've only won 2 games and you've lost 5. And of the games I've watched, the games you've lost are the highlights I've seen are all due to penalties. So Baker Mayfield doesn't need coaching advice from me. I'm just saying on Bill Belichick's team, you will not be on the team very long if you keep getting penalties. Now, in the office environment, let me give an example of what would be a penalty. Not following the scripts. When the phone rings at Elephant in the Room or any of my other companies, Make Your Life Epic, whatever, if you don't follow the scripts, it doesn't work. It's like a recipe. If you don't follow it, it doesn't work. It's like building an airplane or a building. If you don't follow the blueprint, it does not work.
Right.
Now, in my company, in my business, if you don't follow them, Jason, what do I do?
You get it written up, and if you get written up enough times, you get fired.
There it is. And I don't feel bad.
Nope.
But Dr. Breck, you've been on the other side where, you're a nice guy. You've got an amygdala.
I do.
You have compassion.
Yeah.
You have empathy.
Sometimes
you're aware
too
of,
much.
but you're a guy who cares.
I do.
Talk to me about where it gets hard when you see a member of your team getting penalties figuratively, and they just won't do their job. Talk to me about where that gets hard.
Well, yeah, I think part of it is if you're taking on too much responsibility for that employee. And so, you've laid it out. You have a clear game plan. You have a clear expectation, and then the employee misses that.
Yep.
And so you've got to bring it up. And if you don't, then, it's now on you as the manager for not having the backbone to step forward and say, hey, this is how it has to be, because you can start to breed that environment to where it happens over and over and over again.
The first time that you fired someone, did you feel bad?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jason, did you feel bad?
The first time, yeah.
Let's have all the listeners out there. Let's have a moment for a second. Let's just pretend that right now we're all mentally firing someone for the first time. So, Jason, your name for this role play will be Carl.
Okay.
And if you're out there and your name is Carl, don't get offended. We're spelling this with a Q. It's Q-A-R-L. Carl. So I'm gonna fire you. Okay.
Okay.
And this is how it's good. We're gonna role play. We're gonna try to keep it true to form. Okay.
Got it.
All right.
And we got to create the mood real quick. It's got to be the mood, because this is what I hear in my mind when it's firing time. So let me just get the mood, because I want to set the mood right. Here we go. Hey, Carl, could you come here real quick?
Yeah. What do you need?
You know how you were late today,
Just by a little bit, but yeah.
and it just keeps happening. You had, I think, 3 write-ups now,
Yeah.
and I think you're a great guy. And I just want you to know, it's not working out. You're fired.
Oh, what?
You're fired. You're gone. You're up. You're up. You're gone. And then when you leave, this is how I feel. Because I feel like I cleansed my colon.
There's a weight lifted.
Yeah, because what happens is there's some blockage that's keeping your team from being successful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a weight carrying your team down, and customers vote with their dollars.
They do.
And if you won't fire the guy who's perpetually late, the customer will fire you.
Mm-hmm.
Just this week, I talked to an elephant in the room customer. He's a great guy who was very, very dissatisfied, about his experience. And I talked to him, and the core issue is he had one person on the team who was late.
Mm.
And I'd asked him about his experiences in the past. He's been with us for about a year.
Okay.
And I said, how's it been every other time? He goes, well, the first haircut's been great. Second, third, I don't keep track of them all, but I've never had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But this last appointment I had, this guy literally started my haircut, 10 minutes late and never acknowledged he was late. He didn't even acknowledge me. Well, that guy's been fired. Now we move on. Mm. But the reality is I had to apologize to the guy. I gave him a refund.
Right.
I invited him to come back. His next haircut's free as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to make it right. And he thanked us for doing that. But at the end of the day, our marketing could be great. Our signage could be great. Our packages could be great. Our accounting could be great. Our business model could be great. Everything could be great. But if we have a bad stylist with a bad attitude, things aren't great. Dr. Breck, you have a hot take.
Well, I was going to ask you, how many times have you had to fire somebody and then your customers tell you their complaints about that person?
And for us at Elephant in the Room, because we have video cameras installed and we have a mystery shopper that comes in every day, not so much anymore.
Okay.
But before that, every single time.
Yeah, because every time I've done it, every time my patients, they'll come back and say, oh, yeah, I'm glad that they're gone because this was happening, that was happening.
And usually people have told 10 other people
before
who are not the owner before they've told you about the bad employees. So, again, fun factoid number 4, this just in, the Patriots way, the Bill Belichick way, learning how not to lose. This article from NBC Sports, Belichick gets 300 wins because his team took care of the millions of details. Jason, what say you?
Belichick has said in the past that in order for a team to learn how to win, it first has to figure out how not to lose. There's a level of organization and attention to detail that players have to understand isn't Harry high school crap, because it creates a level of accountability and stability that then carries on to preparation and playing. Plenty of coaches come in as hardasses, hammer the little things, and do not get the buy-in because players push back on being treated like kindergartners. To borrow a lament from Adalius Thomas.
Yep, go for it.
Okay. Greg Schiano probably had a very neat sideline too. He didn't last because he couldn't get buy-in, and a revolt ended his time.
So what they're talking about is when you're managing people, you have to hold them accountable. But in the NFL, a lot of these guys are multimillionaires.
Yep.
And there starts to be a revolt because they don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill Belichick has to produce wins in order for the players to buy in.
Yep.
So even if he's like obsessive about checklists and details, but they lose, the players aren't going to buy in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's this really weird deal of like, Jason, you've seen me coach clients for years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I've told you something to do something that's controversial.
Yeah.
Like one thing I tell our coaches to do is if a client will not do their action items, just tell them it's time to move on. And then people are going, you fire your customers? Yeah. Why? Well, because I don't need the money. And I don't need the headache. And so that's crazy.
Yep.
But as a coach, my job is not to be your best friend. My goal is to help you get wins.
Yeah.
Right.
So the buy-in comes from Delricht Research going from $0 up to $100,000 a month of profit. That right there, Google search that. The buy-in comes from Shaw Homes, growing from $37 million of sales to 80. Homies, we're not in December yet. This is crazy. I mean, when you see, I've worked with chiropractors, dentists, doctors, lawyers, Dr. Morrow growing by 25%, MLKdentistry.com. When you see companies growing by 20%, 50%, 80%, that's where the buy-in comes in.
Yeah.
But I could be a stickler for details, but you, as an implementer and as a coach, if you're like, well, none of Clay's clients stick around. I mean, I couldn't point to the scoreboard.
Right.
So you've got to get the wins and the buy-in. Now, Jason, we've got a fun factoid number 5. This is coming in from the Bill Belichick Patriots Way Help Desk. Totally unofficial. Bill does not endorse this program at all. In fact, Bill would be watching. Bill is, no matter what time you're listening to today's show, Bill is watching game film. Unless he's coaching a game. No matter what time it is. I mean, if you're listening to this at 3 a.m. or 5 p.m., or he's going to be watching game film. So, Bill, I'm telling you, I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying, You and I have a relationship that needs to begin starting right now. You're going to hear this show, and you're going to go, you know what? This crazy Oklahomie has spent 40 hours, maybe 50 hours, researching me, reading my books. Nah, I won't do an interview this year. But you know, part of you, Bill, wants to be on the show. Okay,
you undersold it. You're talking about 40 hours this week.
Right. Yeah. All right, so Jason, continue.
Belichick's gotten the buy-in on the little things so that they are now elementary. And that leaves him to not worry about the order of the sidelines or other housekeeping items and frees him up to worry about other weirdnesses like when the roof will be closed during the Super Bowl or being able to get his eyes on the opposing head
just
coach.
So we're clear, versus the Falcons, if you watch NFL Mic'd Patriots versus Falcons, Bill Belichick is freaking out because he wants to know when they're going to shut the roof. And the officials are like, Coach, we don't know when they're going to shut the dome. We don't know. Because it's an indoor-outdoor stadium.
Yeah.
He says, you have to know. Because if it's shut, then the ball is going to do this. And if it's not shut, it's going to do that. I want to know. And they're like, we never thought about that. So they had to go call upstairs and find out when they're going to shut the dome. No other coaches are thinking about that stuff.
Right.
They're not. They're just
He's next level.
He's next level. Okay, continue there, Jason.
Let's see. Okay. Or cleat length, officials' tendencies, or a million other things that a coach who can't get his team to stop jumping before the snap never got to. Bill Belichick has 300 wins because he was on the details a long time ago.
Jason, you are not in our Tuesday meeting usually for our sales team, but our Tuesday sales meeting is at 7 a.m., and I think you've been in a couple of them. But what am I doing with those recorded calls?
It's like game footage. You're listening to them with the team and going through what they did right and what they did wrong.
You're saying I listen to the recorded audio with the team every Tuesday?
Mm-hmm. Every salesperson.
Really?
Every single time.
What happens if someone's calls are bad?
You address why it's bad, tell them what they could have done better, and then give them steps to improve.
And people tell me all the time, you're so mean. You would play an employee's calls in front of the other employees? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even the bad ones? Oh, especially the bad ones. Why? Why does that work? I mean, Dr. Breck, when you know that your coach is going to be watching game film of you or your boss is going to be listening to your recorded calls, what do you tend to do?
Well, you're going to step up your game.
There it is.
I mean, you don't want to be the example of what not to do. So you've got all this social pressure with your peers that you want to perform.
There it is. Now, fun factoid number 6 about Bill Belichick, the best coach in the history of professional football. Fun fact number 6, the Patriot Way. Organization changes the conversation and leads to domination. I see so many entrepreneurs who are so motivated and so excited, but so disorganized. Jason, please read.
Mohamed Sanu has, am I saying his name right?
It's Mohamed Sanu.
Mohamed Sanu has been here about 15 minutes. He's over the moon about being in an organized setting.
This guy came from the Falcons. He's been on the team for 15 minutes. They traded for him, and he loves how organized everything is. Yep. Keep going.
Even in a short time here and watching over his career being on the outside looking in, I see why he's successful, said Sanu. Because he's so detailed in work, no stones unturned, make sure all the guys are so prepared. Our sideline, it's got 2 lines to be back, he said. I've never seen it before. Usually guys are hugging the line in the way. He literally has it so detailed that no one would ever go over the line. This is what you should do, so do it.
Keep reading.
It doesn't matter who we're playing at what time or where, said linebacker Kyle Van Noy. It doesn't matter whether it's a preseason game or a regular season game or the Super Bowl. He cares about winning. He'll do whatever it takes, and it shows. Prime example was last week against the Jets when he pulls us in and hones us in on the details of what to not let happen when the Patriots were ahead 24-0.
Real quick, they're up 24-0, and Bill Belichick pulls the guys in and is hammering them on how to be more effective. Now, this is what's crazy. People don't understand this. Last year, Bill Belichick lost his defensive coordinator, who went on to become the head coach for the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. That's like your defensive manager. 2 years ago, he lost Matt Patricia, his defensive coordinator, to go be the head coach of the Lions. Who is coaching the Patriots defense this year?
Is it Bill?
Yeah, Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. So he's coaching the head coach. He's the head coach and the defensive coach. And he's the general manager. He chooses the players. Right. Nobody's at his level. Yeah. And so far, through 8 games, the Patriots have allowed 40 points. The best defense in the history of the NFL, previous to this year, would be the 2000 Ravens with Ray Lewis. They gave up 80 points in their first 8 games. Mm-hmm. I want everyone to understand this. So far, the Patriots are double the best team in the history of professional football as it relates to defense. And it starts with all these details. They're up 24-0, and he is still not happy and or content. Now, how does this relate to your business? When I ran DJConnection.com, we'd go to a bridal show, and we'd book 75 weddings at one show, 100 weddings at one show. And Sunday, the second day of the trade show, we've already dominated. We've got an hour left. I will not let the guys leave to get something to eat. I'm like, no, we're here to win. Keep booking things. Keep booking things. I don't take my foot off the gas when I'm working.
Right.
You have to become that kind of manager. Because, Breck, what happens on the day before? Let's say you're going to give your office the day off the day before Christmas Eve. So you're going to say, guys, a lot of patients aren't scheduled, so we're going to let you off at 2 o'clock on the 23rd. Then you're off Christmas Eve, the 24th, and the 25th.
Right.
What happens if you're going to let your team leave at 2 o'clock on the 23rd by default if you're not careful?
Oh, I mean, they're going to have already left mentally by 9 o'clock.
There it is.
I mean, they're going to, there's no focus. They might as well not have been there at all.
There we go. Fun factoid number 7, the Patriot way, the Bill Belichick way. The payoff is in the playoffs. Jason.
Belichick's created a culture that, despite its relentless demands and isolated bouts of pushback, players embrace because of the payoff. Tom Brady says, "It's pretty amazing." Brady beamed after the game. "Pretty amazing. 300 wins is pretty spectacular." He likes the word pretty.
Oh.
He's the best coach of all time, and it's a privilege to play for him for as many years as I have. He's taught me so much on and off the field, just been a great mentor for me. Being here 20 years ago, it was his first year. It was my first year. It's been a great journey. Just proud of him. Everything he's accomplished. Amazing to think that he coached for another place and they didn't think he was good enough. And then he comes here and does a great job. It's a great celebration for him.
Quick timeout. Bill Belichick was once the head coach of the Browns, and the Browns would not allow him to choose players. So Bill Belichick is the general manager. So he chooses the players that are on the team, okay?
Right.
So he is the head coach of the Browns, and this is a fun fact that'll blow your mind. Their starting quarterback was Bernie Kosar. And Bill Belichick, you said he wasn't very good as a head coach? What?
Yeah.
Actually, the last game that the Browns have ever won in the playoffs was when Bill Belichick was coaching them almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
So they were pretty good. But he said, I'm going to bench Bernie Kosar. So he benched their favorite player.
Right.
Wow.
And so he had to get police security because of the threats. So he had police security watching him 24 hours a day, surveillance, because people were so upset about it. And then the front office sided with the fans and not with him.
Right.
So that's why it didn't work there, is because he didn't have buy-in from his leadership. Now, if you're out there listening today and you are the owner of something and you undermine your managers, if you've given them the rules and the autonomy to make decisions, and every time they make one, you go over their head and change it, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes you do have to go over their head if they make a bad call.
Right.
But the teaching moment here is you want to make sure that you're holding people accountable to implementing your systems. And you'd better be winning, because if you implement your systems and they don't work, you will not get buy-in. Fun factoid number 8 from the Bill Belichick Patriot Help Desk. Consistency is king. Jason, what say you?
I say, he's had a big influence on me, said Brady. So technically Brady said. He's taught me about pro football. He's taught me about leadership and consistency, dependability. All the things I think he really preaches to us as a player is what we get out of him as a coach. His consistency, dependability, trust, confidence, all those things over a long period of time really add up. So he's just a very stable figure when he gets up and speaks to us. It's about trying to win games, and I think we all appreciate that. Shining a light on the sideline decorum as a symptom of why the Patriots are a good team is bound to cause eye rolls. But anyone thinking that's the point is either dumb or obtuse.
Whoa. Keep reading.
Being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there is a matter of consistency. Can you meet a simple expectation? Yes. Then how about a more important one, like remembering the snap count or blocking the end you're supposed to block, or not getting a ball punched out of or not getting a ball punched out on one carry
Quick
and
time
kicked out another.
No, this is what's crazy. If you are a running back, and Dr. Breck, you played receiver in high school, am I correct?
And running back.
And running back.
I was a small school, so you had to do multiple jobs.
Okay, but when you get the ball, what should you do with the ball when running?
You've got to tuck the pointed end
Okay.
up against the ribs and in between the ribs and the elbow, and then you have your hand over the opposite pointed end.
And the only time that you would take your hand, your other hand away from the ball. The only time you did just be carrying the ball with one hand would be when.
Right. Well, as a running back, you really shouldn't be.
Okay.
If you're in the open field and you're really pumping the
Break
arms,
away? Yeah.
Yep, you're breaking away. Then you keep it away from the opposing player, so like towards the sideline.
Got it.
And then you just in the one arm, but you still have it in
So
that,
you should be
that
running the
crook
ball
point.
with two hands the whole time.
Yeah, if you're in traffic, you have it covered up
But
with
then
both
once you
arms.
break free and you're looking to get separation
Right.
to outrun the other guys, you would carry it with one hand.
Well, with your
Cradle
hand,
it.
arm, and body.
Got it.
So there's supposed to be 3 points of contact, but you'll see a lot of times a quarterback will be holding it out in space.
Yep.
Like the Statue of Liberty up in the air.
Which is a bad thing.
Which is bad because then you only have 1 point of contact, the hand, and it's much easier to knock
Which is
the ball
why I don't
out.
like Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
He runs the ball like that all the time. It's flashier, it looks exciting, but you're going to get the ball knocked out.
Guys,
so
I'm learning so much right now.
So you carry the ball out, you're going to get the ball knocked out, so you have to tuck it. Well,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is on
3
the
points of
Patriots,
contact.
if you do not run the ball with 3 points of contact, if you don't tuck that ball, you're coming off the field. Even if you don't fumble, you're getting off the field. You're not allowed to fumble on the Patriots, and they don't give up fumbles. They just do not fumble the ball.
Right.
But then when you are trying to tackle a man, you have to club the ball out. You grab the guy, you stop him from gaining momentum, and you have to knock out the ball. If you're on the Patriots and Bill Belichick sees you trying to blast a guy and try to just tackle him as hard as possible, and you're not trying to wrap him up and knock the ball out, you're coming off the field. Now, you as a player could not handle the kind of feedback, that kind of intense coaching from someone who's not consistent.
No.
So this is a call to all of these small business owners out there listening. Do you skip your meetings? Do you ever skip your own meetings? Do you ever have a thing where you kind of, guys, it's Monday. We go over the same stuff anyway. Let's just cancel the meeting. Do you ever show up to meetings without a printed agenda? Like, you don't ever have it's not a typed out or a printed agenda. It's just you talking esoterically about ideas. Do you ever not follow the systems yourself? How consistent are you? Because the consistency is king. It's very hard to give people feedback from Mount Awesome if you are in the bus station of life not being consistent. So you have to be consistent. It starts with you. Consistency starts with you. Fun factoid number 9, the Patriot Way. Delegate to diligent doers only. And by the way, if you want to read this article, just type in NBC Sports. Bill Belichick gets 300 wins because his team took care of millions of details. Jason, what say you?
One of his strengths is his ability to give ownership to the players, McCourty explained. There's a lot of times for us as defenders, we get out there and he'll tell us like, hey, we've got 5 different options right here. Whatever you see best, by formation, by personnel, make the call. And he's told us, whether it's myself, Duran, Pat, who really makes a lot of calls, Hightower, Jamie, Bent, E-Rob, that's a great name.
Yep.
He tells us all as signal callers, 9 out of 10 times, I trust you're going to make the right decision, so I don't want to tell you what to do and ruin the game.
Time out. How powerful is that when you've coached your guys so well that when they ask you for advice, you say, you make the call, man.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the field and I'm not.
Yeah. That's like ideal management situation right
It's
there.
beautiful.
It's a biblical principle. If you've been trusted with little, you can be trusted with a lot.
There it is. Jason, keep reading, please.
As he always says, coaches mess up games more than anything. And I think him allowing us to do that, for one, it makes us want to study and understand the game, to take accountability to our coaches, to our teammates. And then I think, 2, it allows us to just play free. Go out there, study the game, and do what you think is necessary. I think once you're able to do that, good or bad, it falls on us and we take that responsibility. I think that's why you see us playing so fast as a defense right now, because if something goes wrong on the field, we don't have to look to the sideline.
How does this apply to business owners? Well, if you're a business owner, you want to role play with your people so well they can't get it wrong. So let me give you an example. We have, dozens of people that reach out to me a day to be like, they want coaching. Now, Julia or the team members have to vet these people. So if you're out there listening right now, and you're going to know if you should fill out the form or not, okay? I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you what we're doing. We're looking for diligent doers only. So, as an example, if you're the kind of person who is looking to start something, that's 1 point against you if you're a startup. Now, if you're somebody who already has a business that's doing more than $1 million a year of revenue, that's a point for you. It doesn't mean you're excluded. It's just a point. Because it's very, 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 very hard to build a successful company. So again, 9 out of 10 people in America do not ever start a company. So every year, only 1 out of 10 people start a company. Okay, so it's only 9% of our population actually starts a company. Mm-hmm. But of those that don't fail, just 10% of those who do start a business don't fail. Because remember, 90% of startups fail, and only 1 out of 10 people ever starts a company. So statistically, it's a 0.0081 percentage chance that you will be a successful entrepreneur. Oh, that was encouraging. So what happens is, if you're a startup and you sound like this on the phone call, let me just cue up. This is what, if you sound like this.
Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them, and you just drop in and just smack the lip.
That's another negative point for you. So a lot of times Julia will talk to someone and she'll say, so tell me about your business idea. And if you're listening out there, I'm not going to mention your name, but you have to know this is crazy because you know this. If you're the listener who did this, you know who you are. But this person fills out the form, and a member of our team hops on the phone. They said, so what is your business idea? Well, what I want to do is basically I want to denuclearize a submarine so that way, we can provide fresh water for the Israelis who are being right now under totalitarian regime of the Palestinians. So wait a minute. Step 1, you want to buy a nuclear submarine and demilitarize it. This is a true story.
Yes.
Yeah, because then they'd have nuclear power, and then you could use that to desalinate the water, thus providing fresh water for the Israelis. Do you have a background in nuclear energy, military? No, man, I work at Jimmy John's. True story.
I will say, I'll give him credit for, no offense to Jimmy John's workers, but in order to understand the desalination process, the only reason why most people can't desalinate water is it takes a crap load of energy. So I can see why he would need a nuclear submarine, but at the same time, how is that a business?
So what I'm saying, we were looking for people who have a business model that is solvent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to try to come up with an idea.
Yep.
If you're looking to take your idea and turn it into a business from a startup perspective, you need to go to Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Because Tony will talk to you about these things. But if you already have a business model, like you're a dentist, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, basically you have a mousetrap and you're just trying to make it better than the competition,
right.
You'll like me a lot.
Right.
Because I'll give you proven systems.
True.
But I can't
like
teach
the
you.
show on Shark Tank. You were you have a great product, you don't have a company.
Right.
You don't have a business yet.
If you are thinking about being on the Shark Tank, don't reach out to me. Because it's not a good fit. I'm looking for existing business owners. Now, you can attend our workshop if you want, but if you're trying to secure funding to make your business work, again, not a good fit. So if you're trying to secure funding, you're in the idea phase, you don't have a business model, not a good fit. Now, if you're doing at least $100,000 a year of revenue, then maybe we talk. But her job is, there's only one of me, and I'm going to do every 13-point assessment. So her job is to vet and to filter to see if you're a good fit. Now, we had somebody I talked to this past weekend who's a multimillionaire who wants to start their next business. That's fine. I just don't want to talk to people who are having a hard time with consistency in their life and try to teach them how to run a company.
Right.
Because, Jason, what happens if you're trying to coach somebody who is having a hard time being consistent and just, being on time for a meeting? If we're on a fundamental level, we're having a hard time being on time for our meeting, what happens?
Well, the relationship gets weird because as you are trying to teach them consistency, it's one of the most important things that we can teach is being consistent is going to make your business grow. But if we're constantly preaching something they're not doing, they get offended in a way.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why would you talk to me that way? I'm doing my best. I am showing up for the last 15, or I got some of the items done, or you don't understand it was a hard week. And you're like, hey, it's okay, Kimosabi. We just want to make sure we get you on that path. And the more you push them, and the more that they don't want to do it, or was it the cognitive dissonance? Is there's something wrong?
As an example, my dad got Lou Gehrig's disease and then passed. I didn't miss payroll one time, or I didn't miss any of my meetings.
And you could have.
Could have. Most would say I should have, but I didn't. Because I have a responsibility to the employees, to the customers, and to the families of the employees to make sure that their paychecks clear and they get paid. As an example, when I'm sick, I have a sick day, I show up to work.
True.
I take Dayquil.
I've seen it.
You've seen it? Yeah, because consistency is king. Now, Luke 16:10, Dr. Breck was sharing, says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. That's Luke. The Bible, it's from the Bible. It's the book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 10. Now, fun factoid number 10. This comes to us via the Patriot Way hotline. Not in any way endorsed by the Patriot Nation. But again, the only reason I like the Patriots is because of the Bill Belichick systems. I'm not from New England.
Right.
I didn't grow up liking them. My dad didn't like them. I have no loyalty geographically. I don't have a family member who once played for them. And my loyalty extends to that of Bill Belichick. I kind of wanting them to on the back of the jerseys next year. You know, because on the front it says Patriots.
Yeah.
But on the back, I wish it would just say Belichick on everyone's jersey. That'd be awesome. Okay. So fun factoid number 10, the Patriot way. He was a wild man in college.
Oh, yeah.
This just in from Mental Floss. Please read, Jason.
Yep. So from things you might not know about Bill
11
Bill
things
Belichick.
you might not know about Bill Belichick.
I thought that was part of the link.
11 things you might not know about Bill Belichick from the Mental Floss article. Back to you.
I'm excited to read this. Before graduating from Wesleyan University in 1975, Belichick was reportedly the polar opposite of his current reserved persona.
Ooh.
Classmates recall that a president of the Chi Psi fraternity, the son of Navy's football scout and future NFL Hall of Famer, could usually be found in the vicinity of frat guys peeing on rival houses and blasting soda machines with a shotgun.
Oh, Billy. Bill, really? So this might have been Bill in college. Like, hey, guys, let's go over to the other fraternity and blow up their soda machine with a shotgun.
I could see him doing that.
Guys, let's
awesome
go.
to witness.
Guys, let's go pee in the other fraternity house. Let's pee in their lobby. But again, people do have the power to change, but people do change seldom. So we all have to start somewhere.
Right.
But I think that's pretty incredible that where he came from. Fun factoid number 11, the Patriot way. He was once public enemy number 1 in Cleveland. Tell us more about Bill Belichick from the Mental Floss article. Jason.
Another one of the 11 things. Before moving to the Patriots, Belichick spent 4 years as head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh.
When he cut popular quarterback Bernie Kosar from the roster, Belichick was so reviled by Cleveland fans that he began to receive death threats. So did Casey Coleman, an area broadcaster who defended Belichick's decision. Both men got FBI protection until the furor died down.
Okay, Dr. Breck. I know with my team, we have a large number of people.
Right.
This just happened last week. A member of the team that asked me, can I bring another person to the holiday party, Christmas party? I said, what do you mean? They said, well, I know I get to bring one. It's me and like my date, but can I bring somebody else? And I said, no. I said, why? I said, well, because it's $60 a head and I'm paying. And they said, well, I'll just pay myself.
No.
I said, no, you can't do that because then I have to report it as income. So essentially I have to pay income tax on your friend attending, and we only have accommodations for about 400 people at the Christmas party, so you can't bring them. Oh, they were outraged. Now, they apologized by the end of the day. I'm glad they did because they probably wouldn't be working here anymore. But they were mad. I mean, they were irate about it. They wanted to bring their significant other to the party, which is fine, and somebody else. Dr. Breck, have you ever had to upset people to hold them accountable at drbreck.com?
Sure. Yeah.
What kind of things upset customers and or employees when you have to be a stickler about a certain thing?
Oh, well, we've got things that are in writing that people just want to overlook. And so when
Is being on time a problem?
Not typically for my crew now,
So
but
your
it
crew
has
is
been in the
back
past.
in the day.
Yeah.
Let's go back
There's been
16
time.
years. When you try to hold people accountable who've never been on time in their life,
Right.
what happens?
Well, of course they push back. So again, it comes back to that consistency. If I'm doing it, I'm never going to ask somebody to do something that I'm not willing to hold myself accountable to. So I think that's a big part of where it's got to start. But if you've got something that is clearly delineated, you've got the parameters set, and they're just crossing them here or there, the other way.
I see a lot of people
you gotta deal with it.
who passively aggressively don't want to use the checklist the company has,
Right.
and they just draw a line through all of the things on it and write done.
Yep.
I see that a lot.
I get to have a meeting tomorrow with somebody that is not. I think some of that's happening with the checklist.
Oh, unbelievable! And then this is what that meeting's like. So come over here. I want to talk to you about the checklist. You see, you gotta use the checklist. You're gonna be sleeping with the fishes. You're gonna be having the concrete shoes. You're being floating around at the bottom of the ocean down there. Boss, why do you have that lead pipe? I got the lead pipe. It's like a teaching tool. It's a pointer, if you will. I'm gonna point this lead pipe at your kneecaps. Boss, why are you why are you pointing at my kneecaps with a lead pipe? It's a way to demonstrate you see no pain, no gain. I'm here to teach you. No, but seriously, people feel like that, but you don't do that, but people feel like that's what it's like. Even if you give any correction at all, a lot of people get irate. So good luck to you there. All right, so
it's all right. It's part of it.
Bill Belichick, fun fact number 12. The Patriot Way, the man, the myth, and the nicknames. Jason, what say you from the Mental Floss article?
Ooh, since beginning his NFL coaching career in 1975 with the Baltimore Colts, Belichick has assumed several identities in the league. Stints in Detroit and Denver led to the nicknames Boy Genius and Punk. In New York, Bill Parcells called him Doom and Gloom.
Bill Parcells,
sorry.
Who, by the way, I'll show you when we get off the show.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me a text message telling me he won't be on the show. Bill Parcells.
Ooh. Are you going to frame it?
Huh?
Are you going to frame it?
Frame my text?
Yeah.
I probably should, because he was Bill Belichick's mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a text directly from Bill Parcells telling me he won't be on the show.
Which
and I
is
told him,
one step closer to him being on the show.
and then I said, well, maybe in the future, and then he ghosted me.
But he messed up and gave you his number.
Well, he did not. I'm just a source very close to Mr. Parcells.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you say, Clint, how do you book your guests? Oh, through only the most intense maniacal focus.
That's true.
I mean, I work my way to get these people on the show, and sometimes I believe our listeners deserve to have the best guests, and sometimes I get rejected. But let's go back to this real quick. Mm-hmm. The nicknames. Read some of the nicknames again.
Yeah, so we've got stints in Detroit and Denver led to nicknames such as Boy Genius.
Is that a good
Punk.
nickname?
I think that's a good name.
What's the next one?
Punk.
Is that a good one?
It depends if you're from Seattle or that's grunge.
Oh, okay, because maybe this guy, his name was
seems
Punk.
a little
Like,
bit
you
opposite.
pull in, and you just get spit right out of him.
You call me
just
Punk?
Drop in and just smack lip. Whoop-ah.
All right. Okay, Jason, continue reading, my friend. Continue. Let's go on to the next fun factoid here. Next Bill Belichick fun factoid. This just in from our home office. Now, by the way, if you're out there looking for Bill Belichick fun factoids, you can Google search right now, Mental Floss, 11 things you need to know about Bill Belichick, and you can find them. But Bill Belichick fun fact number 13, the Patriot Way. Bill Belichick has forked over more money in fines from the NFL than any other coach. Jason, back to you.
After a Patriots employee was caught videotaping defensive hand signals from the New York Jets in 2007, the NFL slapped Belichick with a $500,000 fine, the largest in league history and roughly 12% of the $4.2 million salary he reportedly earned that year.
But let's talk about this for a second. Let's say that Bill Belichick, okay, let's pretend, Jason, you have a camera, and Dr. Breck is the other coach.
Yep.
And you're filming him. How would that benefit you to film the mouth of Dr. Breck calling plays?
I would be able to start to see patterns, and I could...
But only if you watch the footage.
Exactly.
So this is where it takes it to the next level. Not only did Bill Belichick's team film the other coaches talking, but they had somebody who was a professional lip reader who was reading what they meant and then sending it to Bill, who then could relay it to the team within 10 seconds so they could actually act on it.
See, and I was thinking hand signals, and then they see what is that scheme and setup for the defense, and so they're like, reverse engineering it. But, yeah, it would take a little bit of time.
Now, my understanding, again, you'd have to look this up, is it didn't say in the rule book that you couldn't film the other team talking, hire a lip reader to read what the other person is saying, and to real-time provide that feedback to the coach who has memorized the other team's playbook so he knows what to do. So imagine this. You're like, guys filming. Coach, they're going to be running the ball they're going to be running the Z42 option, Z42. And then the coach goes, okay, they're running the ball to the left. I mean, holy crap. I mean, that's like spy level.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Spygate. But again,
Espionage.
I don't think a lot of teams would have the discipline needed to actually pull that off, even if they did film.
Nope.
Right.
But Bill Belichick, why is he paying Jason, why did he have to pay a fine?
Well, because he did something that the league didn't like, and he owned up to it and said, okay. It's like, you showed me that video. I never would have noticed this, but like every time the ball is close to him, if it goes like on the sideline, he'll just take it and chuck it.
Now, there's a little bit of entrepreneurship. That's right. Bill Belichick, when the ball comes out of bounds, a lot of times he'll throw the ball because it's hard to hike the ball if you don't have the ball, so it's kind of a game stoppage. Now, if you look in our ceiling, don't mention the name of the company. You see that sign right there?
Oh, I see it.
Yep.
Oh, I've got hundreds of those signs. Let me explain to you. One of our competitors was stealing the signs for one of our companies, and we caught him on camera doing it. So we confront the guy. Hey, dude, stop stealing our signs. And he says, well, I mean, he's kind of a rednecky kind of guy. Let me get into it. He says, well, I tell you, it's just war. Business is war, and you can't stop me from taking my signs, and you can't prove it. I'm like, well, I got you on video footage, buddy. Well, it's war, and he's super mad 'cause his business is just losing.
Yeah.
Right.
So one day he woke up and discovered that hundreds of his signs were missing. Now, I don't know where they are. I cannot find them anymore.
I don't know.
They used to be available on the road, and now they're not.
It's probably just the wind.
And if he were to ask me what happened to the signs, I would tell you, I don't know after things go in the trash where they go. Maybe they go to a landfill. Maybe they get burned. I don't know. But I can tell I have one right here as a piece of memorabilia to remind myself that business is war. And I probably would get a fine from whoever if they discovered that I did that. But when you have a business, the goal is to win.
True.
To win.
And don't pick a war you can't win.
Right. Don't steal my signs, buddy, because I'm going to take all your signs. And this was years ago, and the signs just keep disappearing. I don't know how. It's like somebody is still thinking about how much that made them upset. Somebody's having that thought right now. Who is taking these signs? And I would say, I don't know. Jason, Bill Belichick.
Or vendetta.
Yeah, that's right. Bill Belichick, fun fact, number 14, the Patriot way. Outwork everybody, regardless of how much you get paid. This comes from the CNBC article, how Bill Belichick got his first NFL job at 23. Jason, please read.
Bill Belichick got his first job in the NFL at age 23. It paid $25 a week, which is $123.20.
How old are you,
for
Jason?
Inflation.
How old are you?
26.
Okay, so let's role play this. You call Dr. Breck, and you say, Dr. Breck, I want to come work for you. And Dr. Breck says, well, I'm not hiring, buddy. And then Dr. Breck, he offers to work for how much, Jason, per week?
$25 a week.
But in today's money, that'd be how much?
$123.20.
So, Dr. Breck, you hear this guy who's pretty sharp, says, I'm willing to work for how much again, Jason, per week?
$123.20.
Would you take him up on it?
Yeah, I probably would. I could find something for him to do.
So Bill Belichick, though, please understand this. He worked for $25 a week. My man. Continue,
awesome.
Jason.
New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick reportedly earns more than $10 million a year, but he started out at the other extreme. Belichick's first job in the NFL with the Baltimore Colts paid practically no money. It was 1975, and Belichick, then 23, had just graduated from Wesleyan University after shooting stuff with a shotgun. A college coach a college coach of his put in a good word with Ted. Why do you say that name?
Marchibroda?
Marchibroda. There you go.
Nice.
The head coach of the Colts at the time. Bill Belichick interviewed with Marchibroda and told him he wanted to work 14 16-hour days and that he'd do anything his boss asked him to do. Ian O'Connor reports in his 2000.
So he said to the coach, I'm willing to work 14 to 16-hour days for basically free. Okay, continue.
Marchibroda thought the kid sounded sincere enough and took him up on it. The gig, which involved everything from analyzing game film to driving the coaches around and working the Xerox machine, was originally unpaid. Still, Belichick's eyes, it was a sweet deal. I got 3 meals, a bed, and a lot of football, he told O'Connor, and that was all I really wanted at the time.
Think about this for a second. If you're out there today and you're wanting to start a company, or Dr. Breck, in your case, you're trying to start a relationship with a potential customer, tell the listeners about the deal you have going for the first-time customers.
So for first-time customers, you can come in and receive an examination, an x-ray, that first treatment, all at no cost, no obligation.
And you're a chiropractor.
Free. Yes.
Why would you offer it for free the first time?
Because I know if you allow me the opportunity to essentially interview with you, you're going to feel better. You're going to like what we do. You're going to see that I'm a normal guy, and it's not so scary. And you're going to want to come back. You're going to want to stay. You're going to want to invite your friends and family.
But you had to make a no-brainer deal to get people to try you out.
Sure.
And have you grown? How big is your waiting list right now? How far in advance are you booked out?
I think right now we're about 7 weeks.
7 weeks booked out. Jason, you should tell a client that. That right there's a bragging story.
That is pretty
You're booked out for 7 weeks in
I
advance?
think that's right. Yeah, 7 or 8 weeks right now.
Because it's a hot deal.
True.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick was willing to offer a no-brainer, which was I'm willing to work 14 to 17 hours per day for $25 a week.
Right.
Somebody out there should write that down.
What are we making an hour? I'm not a mathematician.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
That's
it's
very
like 50
little
cents an
chump
hour.
change.
Yeah. I think 50 cents, it'd be like
less.
Yeah, that's crazy. All I'm saying is if you're out there today and you are not getting customers, create a no-brainer.
True.
A no-brainer offer. Now, Jason, where do people push back on the no-brainer?
Oftentimes it's, can I afford it? Is it going to cheapen my brand?
What does that mean?
It's just, a lot of people are afraid to give up a good quality service or good or product for cheap because they feel like it's worth more.
Why?
But the inverse of that is like, well, I mean, the why is because one, they're scared. But like with Elephant in the Room, we do a great haircut. We have an awesome service, and I would think it would be dumb for us not to give it away for $1. Because I've been to other barbershops that offer something similar, but the only downside is now I'm paying $40 to be unsure. But with us, I'm paying $1, and I'm wowed.
And by the way, I have mystery shopped some of our competitors in Tulsa that are high-end men's grooming lounges.
Mm-hmm.
And one, it was a disaster, and it was like $50.
Oh yeah.
But I tried it. I'm like, whoa. I mean, it was bad. Now I tried another one. They did a very good job. But they were really late, and again, it was like full price.
Yep.
Now, the problem is when you're bad and it's full price. Now, I went to another one that was great, and it was full price, but I would not have gone there. I'm just not that curious to try out something if I'm not guaranteed I'm going to like it. I mean, Dr. Breck, you see this all the time. People,
sure.
You go to a restaurant that might cost $100 a head. Have you ever been to a very expensive restaurant and it's terrible?
Yes, I have.
And how do you feel after you've dropped $100 per person on a meal that was terrible?
You feel robbed.
Yep.
Now, what if the first meal was 90% off?
Right.
Or half off?
That would lessen the blow.
Well, yeah, I think oftentimes you grade the meal on a value scale. So, if you pay far less for it, then it doesn't taste quite so bad if it's not great. But, if you've not had a wonderful experience, not had a great meal, and yet you still paid a premium for it, you really feel dissatisfied.
I find that a lot of people are afraid to get learning opportunities. Let me give you an example. When I started DJing, I would tell people, I'll DJ your party for $1, and you just have to pay me the remaining balance if you're happy.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can pay me as much of the remaining balance or as little as you want based on your satisfaction. So I tell the customer, the average DJ in Tulsa is charging $500 for the show, or $600 or whatever. I think at the time the average DJ was charging $600. So I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do the best I can, but I'm going to DJ for $1. I've got a wife, I got a life, I got things, I got obligations. And if you think I'm good, you can pay me whatever you want to pay me. And if I'm not, you can pay me whatever you want to pay me. How does that, Dr. Breck, free me up to get better as a disc jockey?
Well, because you're going to have more opportunities because
There it is.
nobody can say no to that.
Yep.
And then you're going to grow. You're going to get more experience. You're going to learn. You're going to get better and better. You're going to figure out what the client wants so that you can get the remainder of that paycheck. And the next thing you know, you're killing it every time.
So okay, again. So, Jason, do you think that Bill Belichick is a better coach now than he was when he was starting out at the age of 20, was it 23?
Yeah. Oh, and he absolutely is a much better coach.
And I did do the math, and it was less than a quarter an hour.
Less than a quarter per hour Bill Belichick started his career. Jason, what is our next fun factoid? What's the next Bill Belichick fun fact?
So it's fun fact number 15.
And where do we get this information from?
This one is another mentalfloss.com article, part of the 11 things you might not know about Billy Belichick.
Okay, continue reading, my friend.
So, as a high-profile sports figure, Belichick is often approached by car dealers with offers of free vehicles in the hopes his celebrity will provide them with greater visibility. While it's hard to turn down free wheels, Belichick does. He buys his family's cars only from Farrell Volvo in Southborough, Massachusetts, a dealership owned by his college friend Jim Farrell.
By the way, if you look up Bill Belichick, you will discover that he is fiercely loyal. Very, very loyal.
True.
Why does that say a lot about somebody, Dr. Breck?
It's a great quality.
When Bill Belichick will not take an endorsement. He won't take a free car from Mercedes or from Lexus or from Lamborghini. He will only drive a Volvo from his college friend. He buys from his college friend's dealership. Why does that speak to who Bill Belichick is?
Well, I think it comes back to trust. I mean, loyalty is such a lost characteristic currently, especially in our current society. And so, I love that quality. Because when you have that loyalty, then you have a greater amount of trust. And the next thing you know, I mean, the sky's the limit on that relationship.
Now, I want to tell the listeners a little fun factoid that's not one of our fun factoids, Jason, because I know so much about Bill Belichick. It's just stuck in my head. Bill Belichick's favorite restaurant is Mission Barbecue. All right? It's in Annapolis, which is the home of the Naval Academy, Annapolis, Maryland. Do you guys know why it's his favorite restaurant, Mission Barbecue? The food's good, but why does he like it?
It probably...
They sing the national anthem every single day at lunch.
Okay.
Wow.
They stop the restaurant and they sing the national anthem, and he loves that.
Yeah.
Because they're on a mission and they're standing up for what's right and for our military. And his father was in the military. But Bill Belichick did one of his first sit-down interviews, which Dr. Breck, you'd love that interview. But he did that interview at Mission Barbecue to give his friend's restaurant good PR. So the only sit-down interview he's done in a long time is at Mission Barbecue. And Jason, why did he say it has to be there?
The first sit-down interview?
Yeah.
Because it was an environment that he enjoyed, that he was comfortable in?
Kind of right.
Also, did he want to endorse them?
Yes. He wanted his friend's business to get
So
that
was it
through.
his friend ahead of time, or did he become his friend because he liked his restaurant?
My understanding is he became his friend because he liked the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he liked how patriotic they are. But he went out of his way to give his friend good PR, and he didn't get paid to do it. He did not get paid to
An
do it.
endorsement that you could hardly afford.
Right. Now, Jason, let's go to our next fun factoid. Our next Bill Belichick fun fact is what?
Fun fact number 16, the Patriots way, doing time to help stop crime, from the 11 Things You Might Not Know About Bill Belichick article.
Yep.
Belichick uses his off-season time to do humanitarian work, and he's particularly interested in rehabilitation of our incarcerated population. Belichick has worked with former NFL great Jim Brown on the Amer I Can program, leading aid and support to prisoners, as well as paying visits to gang members for talks on how to avoid violence.
Why does he do that, and why did you just now discover that he does that? I mean, why is it that nobody knows about that? And why does he do that? What do you think, Jason?
I would say, one, he does it because he's a coach at heart, and he wants to be able to coach people no matter what their situation is. It's like why he takes in undrafted people. He finds value in them, and he is that one source, that one person saying, you can do it. Here are the tools to do it. Here's how you can get better. You don't have to be stuck where you're at. And the second answer to that is why people don't know about it, because he doesn't get on social media and brag about it. He does it for a good reason.
Patriots fun factoid number 17. Bill Belichick fun fact number 17. The Patriot way. Too busy winning games to be in video games. What do you got here, Jason?
Fans of the long-running Madden NFL video game series might be perplexed whenever they call up the Patriots head coach. It's never Belichick.
What?
It's never Belichick.
Okay, continue.
But an anonymous character named Josh Moore. Sometimes the more generic NE coach is used. For a game officially licensed, it's a strange decision. While Belichick typically avoids queries as to why, one possible answer might be the fact that he hasn't joined the NFL Coaches Association.
Quick timeout. He's the only NFL coach who is not a member of the NFL Coaches Association.
Why?
Now, if he was a member, he would get paid a percentage of the Madden revenue.
Okay.
So he'd make a couple $100,000 a year, every year, if he would just sign the piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
But you know why he's not a member of the Coaches Association?
No.
Breck, what do you think?
I'm guessing they have certain guidelines he doesn't agree with, want to follow.
He wants to beat you. He doesn't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
He
No
doesn't want to
camaraderie.
share ideas.
Mm-hmm.
He's not sentimental about being a member of a fraternity of coaches. He wants to beat you. He wants to trip you when you're walking. He wants to beat you. That's what he's looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't make any sense for the head of the Israeli military to hang out with the head of the Palestinian military and go over game plans.
Right.
Nor would it make sense for me to serve on a board that is run by my competition. So you have in business, it's called a fiduciary duty to not, if you say you have a partner, okay, and the two of you team up to start Elephant in the Room together. I, as a partner in the Elephant in the Room hair business, I have a fiduciary, a.k.a. a legal duty to not compete with myself.
Right.
To not aid and abet my competition.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Bill Belichick views it. He doesn't feel the need to team up with you if you're a company. Breck, why do you not sit down with other chiropractors every single day and share with them your plans?
Again, I want to win.
But could you? I mean, did you ever get calls from other chiropractors like, hey, dude, you want to
There's
do
actually a
lunch
lot
and-
of camaraderie with
So you have some guys
chiropractors.
you're
So in
friendly with.
school, in medical school, a
Got
lot
it.
of times you've probably heard stories about how it's really cutthroat, and it all depends on, you want to be first in your class, and your residency depends on your ranking in the class. In chiropractic school is very different. It's definitely more collaborative. We don't see one another typically as much as competition. Because we have a greater mission to extend chiropractic and the wellness model across the board to a greater amount of the population.
So on a nationwide level, you're trying to team up.
Right.
But the guy across the street,
But
you're
the
probably
guy
not going to
across
give
the
him
street,
tips.
No.
Now, Bill Belichick, fun fact number 18, the Patriot way. Bill does not waste time with unnecessary technology, Jason. He does not waste time with unnecessary technology. Read to us the fun factoid from fun factoid number 18 from the Mental Floss article, please.
Having been involved in football since watching his dad in the 1950s, Belichick isn't one to abandon what works. After trying some tablets to arrange his plays and other data on the sidelines, Belichick was seen smashing one to the ground in October 2016.
Sorry, Common.
As you probably noticed, I'm done with the tablets, he told media. They're just too undependable for me. I'm going to stick with pictures, which several of our other coaches do as well, because there just isn't enough consistency in the performance of the tablets. I just can't take it anymore.
Here we go. This is Billy.
In seasons recent, the NFL has certainly cracked down on any tremendously outward displays of emotion on the field. So, what about this? You'll notice Patriots coach Bill Belichick just taking it out on his Microsoft Surface tablet during a recent loss to the Buffalo Bills. See, the NFL is in the middle of a
By the way, the NFL wants all the coaches to use this technology with Microsoft.
The NFL is in the middle of a $400 million 5-year deal with Microsoft to exclusively use the tablets on all NFL sidelines.
I'm the same way. I can't stand watching salespeople use a PowerPoint on their iPad that doesn't work 100% of the time.
Right.
Get that crap out of here. I see so many businesses. There's one business in particular, you know what I'm talking about, that has an online sign-in crap when you go there to cut your hair. So you're standing right in front of somebody, and they say, do you want to sign in online? No, I want to sign in offline because I'm talking to you. And they're like, oh, sign in online. And I watch a 45 and a 50-year-old man try to sign in, and it doesn't work consistently.
Right.
It's just stupid.
When a pen and paper works just fine.
Have you been to the Olive Garden recently?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. The waiter kept handing me the stupid tablet thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he goes, well, you just swipe your card right here. So I swipe my card. It doesn't work.
Yep.
Swipe my card. It doesn't work. I'm like, hey, can you just take my card and go swipe it? What? I mean, seriously, it's like instead of asking me what I wanted, he hands me the tablet so that I can choose what I want.
Right.
Just make some freaking eye contact. I mean,
Yeah.
Have you seen that crap?
I have not, but that to me is a great way to not get a tip and live on the $3.
Breck, have you seen people hiding behind that freaking technology?
Yes, I have. And actually, our last experience at Olive Garden was laughable for our entire family. The waitress was just doing a terrible job.
Just checked out. What Olive Garden has been doing, and by the way, if you're listening right now and you're a member of the Olive Garden family, I go there a lot for the salad. But I want to tell you something. That salad versus the poor customer service, it's like
there's a tipping point.
There's a tipping point, and what's happening is I'm seeing these new employees hiding behind these iPads to take my order, and it's not working.
Yeah.
You hit play, and there's like a video, and it's like dun 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 dun. You hit play, and it like is, do you want the? It's like the taste of Italy, lasagna. Dun 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 dun. No, I don't. You hit like play, and you can like learn about your food. Have you seen that crap?
Yeah.
Get out of here! I don't want to learn the tour of Italy. You get the I don't want that.
Right.
I want a human to talk to me. Frick, unbelievable. Jason, what's the Bill Belichick fun factoid number 19? I believe.
Ooh. Number 19 fun factoid: at the age of 67, or at the age of 67 years old, Bill will still outwork you. New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick turns 67 today.
Quick time out here.
Based
He was
off
born
this.
on April 16th, 1952 in Nashville. It's really funny. There's an interview with Julian Edelman, and they're asking him what time Bill Belichick gets to work.
Right.
And he talks about how as a rookie he used to stay late. So one night he's there late, and he goes into the workout room, and Bill's on a treadmill watching game film at like 11 o'clock at night. So he's like, so I'm going to go to the hot tub area. So he goes to the hot tub area, and when he goes to the hot tub, Bill's in there. And he's like, he never leaves. Because he's trying to impress to be the last guy out.
Right.
So then when he goes to leave, he runs into Bill again, who's just now finally leaving at like midnight.
Yeah.
But he's tried to beat him to work, like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., and he's already there.
Right.
So we're trying to figure out, when does he actually leave? I mean,
he didn't leave to go home. He just went to grab a bite to eat, and he's coming right back.
He will outwork you. Now, Bill Belichick, fun factoid number 20. The Patriot Way. Football is in Bill's blood. Jason, what say you?
He is the son of a coach. Belichick's father, Steve, was an assistant collegiate football coach, primarily at the United States Naval Academy, and taught his son the finer points of the sport from an eagle eye.
Okay, so again, it's a passed down tradition. He watched his father coaching, and that's where he picked it up. Bill Belichick fun factoid number 21 in honor of Deion Sanders. Number 21, the Patriot Way. He's won the most Super Bowl games of any other coach. He has the most Super Bowl wins of any other coach. Jason, back to you.
Yep, so he stands alone with Super Bowl wins. Belichick has led 6 Patriot teams to Super Bowl titles, the most won by any coach in history. Former Pittsburgh Steelers coach Chuck Noll is next with 4.
Okay, think about this for a second. He has the most Super Bowl wins. Dr. Breck, in your mind, when somebody has the most Super Bowl wins, does that make them the best or near the best? Or what are your thoughts on that?
It does. It makes them the best.
But a lot of people, Jason, don't want to talk about the facts.
No. Not at all.
This is interesting. This is a coaching moment for the listeners out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my businesses, like DJConnection.com back in the day, was the largest wedding entertainment company in Tulsa. And people would like to criticize me all the time at chamber events. They're like, that company wouldn't even allow you to meet the DJ before your wedding. It's the only company you couldn't meet the DJ before the wedding. Well, then I'd sit down and explain to somebody. I'd say, hey, Sarcasmo, the only reason you know my name is because I'm dominant.
Yep.
If I was not good, you wouldn't know my name. But all the DJs back in the day, you'd go to someone's wedding, if you worked for me, and they knew that at the wedding you do your best job, you follow the systems, you follow the checklists, you follow everything. At the end of the wedding, I, as the owner, will call the bride and say, how happy were you with the DJ's performance on a scale of 1 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
And if you rated your DJ a 9 or a 10, the DJ could double his money. The DJ could make a bonus. But if the DJ got a poor review, then they made less money. So the bride and the groom and I had a relationship. We had a triumvirate. We had a triangle of trust where it was, I'm going to do the best I can to train these guys and get them out there. But if you're not happy, they're not going to get paid very much. So unless the guy wants to commit paycheck suicide, he's going to do a great job. And they did.
Right.
But people always want to criticize people at the top.
Yep.
Nobody criticizes somebody at the bottom. So if you're out there and you're a business owner and you're not being criticized by your competition, you're probably not winning.
Nope.
All right. So Bill Belichick, fun factoid number 2, the Patriot way. He could not play well, but he can coach. Jason, what say you?
Yes. Although possessed of a precocious football intelligence, he was a limited football player who received no interest from top division colleges and instead played center and tight end at the smaller Wesleyan University, Middletown, Connecticut.
Is Wesleyan University a college powerhouse there, Dr. Breck?
No, not last I checked.
Usually in Division I football, you have like the Florida Gators or Oklahoma State or Alabama or OU or Michigan or Notre
USC,
Dame or
you
USC.
got those top tier teams.
UCLA. You don't hear a lot about Wesleyan University.
No.
But he is a great coach. How is it possible you can be a great coach and not a great player? How could it be, Jason, that I can coach our stylists on how to provide a great service, but yet I can't cut hair? How is that possible? Because a lot of business owners get hung up right there. They say, I can't possibly teach my team how to be a great stylist if I can't cut hair. How do we do it?
Well, you understand what it takes to have a good wow experience. I mean, you've detailed it in your books. You've baked it into my brain, all the other coaches' brains, your clients' brains. It's like you understand what is needed for any customer in any industry to enjoy the service or product or whatever.
And then we hire great people like Spencer who know how to cut hair, and then they teach our stylists.
Yeah. You hire people who are already good at it, and then also people who are coachable. That way you can teach them, and then they can teach the next generation.
Now, Bill Belichick, fun factoid number 23 for the folks scoring at home, the Patriot way. Bill was an assistant coach for 5 teams. Jason, back to you.
Yep. So he moved on to assistant coaching positions during the Detroit Lions and the Denver Broncos before joining the coaching staff of the New York Giants in 1979. After being fired as the head coach for the Browns, he took the assistant coach position for the Patriots and Jets with Parcells.
People don't know this. He was an assistant coach for the Patriots and for the Jets underneath Bill Parcells, who has rejected me via text.
Right.
Dr. Breck, people forget how long Bill Belichick paid his dues before he became a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
This guy started coaching.
He was an overnight success after 20 years.
Right.
Yeah. It must be nice.
But, Breck, talk about that. How long have you been a chiropractor?
Going on 16 years now.
How often do you get approached by a young whippersnapper chiropractor right out of school who wants you to teach them the secrets?
Well, actually, I was at a conference last weekend, and there were a few that approached me. Yeah, they wanted to know the secrets. How did you become a 10-year overnight success?
Now, I could give everybody out there the proven strategies needed to get to the top of Google. You got to have the most content, the most reviews, the most canonical compliance, and the most mobile compliance. But, Jason, when you know what to do, it's up to you to actually do it.
Yeah, you have to consistently do it, and you have to reconcile in your mind. Like Brett keeps saying, it doesn't happen overnight. He is a 10-year, 12-year overnight success story. He's been hammering the same things, knowing what to do for the past decade, and that's why he's where he is.
That's why the OxyFresh franchise is so successful for franchisees. You can buy a franchise for under $40,000, and they're top in Google. So if you type in carpet cleaning quotes right now, do a search for carpet cleaning quotes right now. and you'll find OxyFresh at the top of the Google search engine results. Because for 12 years, they've been writing content.
Right.
Now, if you do a search for Berj Najarian, B-E-R-J, Najarian, that's the assistant, that's Bill Belichick's personal assistant and chief of staff, I come up top for that. If you do a search for Bill Belichick's #1 fan, the number sign, I come up top for that in Google. Jason, why?
Because you spent the time and did what you needed to in order to get there.
And on today's show outline, Jaron McKnight and I have collectively worked on. I've been reading Bill Belichick books for years, and I had Jaron pull up articles and links, and we've been working on this. Jason, there's 48 pages of outlines here.
It looks like even more. I'll be honest. It looks like at least 80 pages.
It's a lot. So I'm just saying, as people say, I want to be top in Google for the name Bill Belichick.
Right.
Well, you're probably not going to be top if you do like one article, because you're going to have to lock yourself in a room for 40 hours. Now, Jason, how much money do I get paid as a result of being top in the world for the phrase Bill Belichick's #1 fan?
I would assume nothing.
Right. And why do I do it then?
So you can be top, so people can find you.
Why else?
Why else? Because you're a sick freak and you.
That's
you
mainly
like competition.
why. That's mainly why. It's just fun. I love winning.
Yeah.
I love it. It's not even something. I don't even know how many people are competing against me. There's somebody out there who's saying right now, I'll tell you what, he's not even from Boston. I am the #1 Bill Belichick fan. I got a Bill Belichick tattoo. I got a Bill Belichick poster. I got it. I'm the #1. There's nobody. I got the bobblehead. I got the hoodies. I dress like this at work. I get mocked at work because I cut off the hoodie sleeves. Nobody is a bigger fan than me. And I'm like, well, that might be true, but I'm top in Google.
True.
Because of the maniacal amount of research that goes into this. Jason, what's the next big Bill Belichick fun factoid? The Patriot way, one small step for the Giants, one giant leap for Bill Kind.
So he served as special teams coach and then linebackers coach before being promoted to defensive coordinator by head coach Bill Parcells in 1985. They would eventually win 2 Super Bowls for the New York Giants in 1987 and in 1991 with both of them coaching.
Dr. Breck, can you explain what a linebackers coach does and how that's maybe different from a defensive coordinator?
So the linebacker is kind of like the quarterback on the defense.
Got it.
They are the captain, the one that's directing traffic for the defense.
Yep.
And so the linebackers coach is responsible for them being in the right place, making sure that the rest of the team is in their correct place, that they're doing their job. So it's a more specific role than just the defensive coordinator, which is setting up the scheme for the overall defense. They're the ones that are crashing heads as the running back's coming through. So if they don't do their job, the whole thing falls apart.
Okay, Jason, I want you to talk about this for a second. I want you to think about this for a second. Being promoted from an assistant manager to a manager is kind of a big thing.
Yeah, it is.
And for our listeners, to make this actionable, I see a lot of people that won't promote somebody from an assistant manager to a manager unless they can cut hair or unless they have the golden resume. But here's a guy who played football at Wesleyan who got promoted. But a lot of people won't promote people based upon the merits of the work they get done.
Right.
They only promote people based upon their resume. Talk about that for a second, because we promote people based upon the results they produce, and most people don't do that in the world of business. Talk about that. If you're somebody out there, you only promote people based upon the size of somebody's resume.
Well, you're going to be promoting them based off of something that is 85% of the time a lie. So you kind of have to crunch those numbers. But that's one of my favorite quotes we have in both Elephant and Thrive is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Carnegie. He says, as I get older, I watch what men do and care less about what they say.
Yep.
So it's the same thing. It's like if Breck is our employee and he's just crushing it, like he's a stylist, and he on his resume that he submitted months ago, it might not say he's had management, experience, but or like Carly is a really good example. She has just made her way up to master trainer because she started as just a stylist, and then you realize she can command the team, she can delegate checklists, she wows her customers every single time, she's always early, she is driven to do whatever task she needs to do, and never once said, hey, I want to be a manager. She came in as a stylist and then just got stuff done. And now because of that, she is being promoted. And then eventually will probably...
I see a lot of bosses, though, Jason, that only promote people if they're pretty. I'm being serious, though.
Yeah.
I see a lot of bosses that only promote pretty women or men with big resumes. A lot of people promote people based upon how they look.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about racism. I'm talking about just this weird...
It's called the halo effect.
There it is. Explain what the halo effect is.
So the halo effect essentially means that if you find a positive quality about someone, you assume other positive qualities that they possess. So if you think they're attractive visibly, then you think that they're also smarter.
There it is.
You think that they're also more capable and more responsible, or other positive qualities you just attribute to them without any rationale
Which is how
at all.
Jason got promoted.
I was about to say,
You're so pretty.
Oh, God, I don't know.
Wow.
No. if so, your glasses strength needs to be upped a lot.
Wow. Right now, I'm like looking through the Hubble space satellite on my right eye right now. I got some thick lenses, so.
Hey, you're an attractive man.
Okay.
Your
Fun
wife's a
factoid.
very lucky
Number
woman.
25. The final fun factoid of today. So it's part 1 of what I believe to be a 5-part series about Bill Belichick's greatness, Bill Belichick facts, Bill Belichick quotes. We're going to give you so much Bill Belichick knowledge that you cannot get in college. That you're going to become a super manager as a result of implementing these management systems. People from all over the world are going to be sharing this podcast, going, "Hey, buddy, we need to become better managers, and this podcast teaches the moves." Jason, what's the next? What is the next fun factoid?
So it says Bill Belichick had the opportunity to coach under the head coach Bill Parcells. So like we talked about before, Bill's head coach for the Giants, the Jets, and the Patriots was Bill Parcells.
I want to make sure everybody understands that. He was mentored by a great coach.
Right.
So if you're listening right now, what does that mean? You need a great coach in your life, and if you have employees, you need to be that great coach. So if you're out there listening today and you're not getting coaching from somebody, I'm not talking about hiring me. I'm talking about if you're stuck at the bottom of Google, hire Bruce Clay, bruceclay.com for $8,000 a month. They'll help you. He wrote Search Engine for Dummies. Hire him. If you're stuck with your PR right now and you don't know what to do with your public relations, hire Michael Levine. He was the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson, for the Clintons, for the Bushes, for Pizza Hut, for myself, and for $4,000 a month, he'll help you. Or you can hire us, but we only have 160 spots. So figure it out. Find somebody. Find a neighbor. Find a friend. Find somebody who's had success, somebody who's gone to the top of the mountain, and have them teach you the path they took to get there.
Yeah.
But don't take advice from randos.
Nope.
What happens if you get advice from randos?
You lose. I've watched that with clients that I've coached. I've watched that with people in my life after I became, an implementer, and I've learned your system.
Yeah.
For me, it's easy to say, hey, find yourself a Dr. Zellner. Find yourself a Dr. Breck. Ironically, find yourself any doctor, apparently.
Right.
But find somebody who is winning, not just where you want to be. Find somebody who is winning and has a system, and don't be afraid to ask them how they got there, and take notes, sacrifice time. Get up and meet them in the morning, knowing you're not going to get paid, but you're going to get paid in the knowledge, because if you just let a bunch of other people tell you how to run your business, it's not going anywhere.
And by the way, I don't want you to intern for me. I don't want you to. I'm going to tell you this right now. I've got a lot of people reaching out to me, dozens of people a week reaching out to me about interning.
Right.
Let me explain this to you. If you want to intern for me, understand I don't want you to intern for me.
Yep.
If you want to intern for me, just understand I don't want to. So don't tell me. This is what's funny. People will say, I'm willing to work for free, but how much guaranteed training will there be?
Right.
What?
What does that mean?
Could you fill out paperwork that shows to my college what I'll be doing? What? Could you, is there any position that's paid? What? One guy went as far as to say, can you come to my college and meet my professor so he can see whether you'd be approved? No!
Get out of here.
Make it easy for the person who's mentoring you. Say that you have to do nothing. I'll just shadow you. I'll be a fly on the wall. I'll pick up the trash.
Caveats.
No caveats. Don't make your mentor do something. They don't want to mentor you. Come on now, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, be serious about this. Don't ask the mentor to do a bunch of work in order to qualify to be your mentor. Now, we come back, part 2 of the Bill Belichick series. We'll be talking about fun facts number 26 through 50.
Yep.
And then part 3 will be 51 through 75. And then part 4 will be 76 through 100, and then through 102.
Yep.
And then we're going to get into Bill Belichick quotes.
Right.
And this could take us weeks. But there's so much knowledge in here. And I'm telling you, if you struggle with management, today you can do 2 things. 1, you cannot apply what you've learned and just keep going as it is. Or 2, you can listen to the show, take notes, and ask yourself, what do I need to do to become a more effective manager? Because once you nail the marketing and the accounting, it comes down to managing people.
Yep.
My name's Clay Clark. I'm a business coach. That's Dr. Breck. He is a chiropractor and a great chiropractor. Check him out at drbreck.com. That's Jason Beasley. And if you were on the video version of today's show, which we currently don't produce, you would see why it's easy to have promoted him based upon nothing but good looks. Good looks only. Now, without any further ado, let's wrap up today's show with a boom. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Stop what you're doing and think about this for a second. What would happen if your company was suddenly able to generate exponentially more quality sales leads. That would be incredible. What would happen if your company came up at the top or near the top of the Google search engine results? Well, I would just feel overwhelmed with all that business. How many thousands of dollars in lost sales or millions of dollars in lost sales are you missing out on simply because your potential customers can't find you when they go online to search for the products and services that you offer? I refuse to think that thought because I don't want any more business. Unless you are a dirty communist that hates money, my new book, Search Engine Domination, will help you grow your business. In my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate the search engine results. What do you mean by dominate? You see, in my new book, Search Engine Domination, we will teach you the specific steps that you need to take to dominate search engine results. Download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com. I repeat, that's thebestseobook.com.
My name is Amy Baltimore, and I am a CPA in Covington, Tennessee. I've been working with the Thrive team now for about a year. One of the first things that they did was to update my website and my search engine optimization. I prior had a website, but I was not being found on Google, and all of my new business was coming through referrals from friends, family, etc. And right away, I started to see results. People were calling and coming in saying that they found me on Google. They just Googled CPA near me, and there I was at the top of the page. And so it's been a great help to my business.
Again, you can download your free ebook copy today at thebestseobook.com.
Hey, this is Dustin Huff. I'm with Keystone Harbor Marina. We joined Thrive back in January and have been working with these guys for about 7 months. During that time period, we have moved up our Google rank through reviews and SEO processes that we've compiled through these guys. Our leads have gone from about 4 a week to now 165 a week. So the process works. I will tell you from experience, once you begin, you have to stay with it. As long as you continually do this week in and week out, month in and month out, you'll continually grow.
The system works, but nothing works unless you do. You've got to take some action. Download the ebook for free today at thebestseobook.com.
Hello, my name is Daniel with Daniel's Heating and Air here in Amarillo, Texas. The way Google has affected my business, we have got a lot of calls from Google. Right now it's July, and we've had the best month ever. And it took us about 8 to 10 months to get on top of Google, and I'm glad we did.
Remember, nothing works unless you do. You have to go to thebestseobook.com today. Download the ebook for free. Just download that ebook for free, and you'll be off to the races.
Hi, my name is Christina Nemus. I'm the owner and operator of Angel's Touch Auto Body and Detailing in Bourne, Massachusetts. We have been working with Thrive and their coaching for, say, 8 to 9 months, and it took us about 6 months, 5 to 6 months to get on the top of Google, and with their help with the website and marketing, and the SEO and retargeting ads with Google, and it has been phenomenal. We just have light and day business coming in, phone calls coming in, walk-ins, referrals. It's just through the roof, and we couldn't be happier. At the moment, we are up 50% this year from the previous year, and not only is that part of our own hard work and diligence, but also with the help of Thrive and what they've done for us and getting us on the top of Google and, you know, all their knowledge and coaching. And yeah, so super grateful, super pumped to see what the future holds for all of us. Thank you.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10:4. I'm here to tell you, you can do it if you can just motivate yourself. To what the masses had to cut off a few, so on the daily you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So, like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those who doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru? Or the next Dr. King who's changing the rules? Walls are in your way, will you run right through? Like a running back, force the one, it's up to you. I remember my days back in the dorm room, tuned to the gloom like the temple of doom. Overwhelmed with the doubts that try to consume my hope for the future that I could pursue. But from the mountaintop now I can conclude that you have what it takes if you want the view to.
This is your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time. It's your year to thrive. Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
This moment is profound cause you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how. But you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up. Cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind, now's your time, don't dare let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up.
This is your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find.
Yes.
Today is your day.
Somebody say.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
It's your year to thrive.
Come on.
Success you will find. Today is your day, and now is your time.
It's your time. We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we cannot begin without self-discipline. If you fall on your face, get yourself up again. Attach yourself to goals, not fail with the friends. When the storms get rough and they scatter and leave, you only be there with yourself and what you believe. We believe in you, but not as much as God does. If you're going through hell, He's got nothing but love. Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time you have money to burn.
Apply what you've learned, increase what you burn, and in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you've learned, increase what you burn, in due time you got money to burn.
Sing it.
Apply what you've learned,
Sing it.
increase what you burn.
Yes.
In due time you got money to
With this biblical miracle, I look to shout down the doubters. Kill the weeds that be killing your dream flowers. Empower you to devour all the obstacles that make your sweet dreams sour. As for me, I used to stutter, but now I'm on the microphone smooth like butter. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.
Today is your day.
Today's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
This is your year to thrive.
Sing it.
Success you will find. Today is your day.
It's your day.
And now is your time.
It's your time.
Today is your day.
Come on.
And now is your time.
Sing it, Martin.
Today is your day. Now is your time.
I realize I can't sing like that, but I can talk and play the woodblock. Okay. If you guys need me, I'll just be over here.